Hello and welcome to this edition of Inside Chibolo at Tito Nishola. International football is over and we are back to club football and the exciting games across the top 4 leagues in Europe, the Italian Serie A, the Spanish La Liga, the German Bundesliga, and of course the English Premier League. Let's start from Germany, where Bayern Munich will be taking on Bayer Leverkusen. Well, this game before now used to be more like one way for Bayern Munich, but last season was tough. Last season was exciting, where Bayer Leverkusen won that game 2-1. 2 penalty goals from them. In fact, 2 red cards that was rescinded by thanks to the VAR. This time around, both of them are starting the season so well. In fact, Bayer Leverkusen are top of the table because of better head goals difference over Bayern Munich. Yeah, there's a certain Harry Kane who has scored in his first 3 league games. If he scores in 4, he will become the first player since Klose to score in 4 straight Bundesliga titles. His first 4, of course. And this is definitely going to be tough. I like how both of them have started the league so well. 3 wins in 3 games, 100% run. But one thing is sure, one of them will drop it, or both of them can even drop it, because I'm seeing this game that after 90 minutes, it could even end in maybe a narrow draw, or Bayern Munich could just find a way to edge it after 90 minutes. Moving on to the Italian side, there are 2 key games. Juventus at home against Lazio, and there's the Derby della Madonnina, the Milano Derby. Let's talk about the Juventus-Lazio. Lazio, their only win so far this season was away to the defending champions, Napoli. Surprising, before the international break, they won against Napoli at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. And Juventus, on the other hand, their last only home game, they drew, and 2 straight away games, they've won those games. So this time around, they're playing at home against the team who won away from home. Juventus, of course, you still expect them to do enough to pick up all 3 points against Lazio. And the biggest game, probably the biggest game in Europe this weekend, has to be Inter Milan at home against AC Milan. Yes, both of them play at the same stadium, but it depends on who is hosting Giuseppe Meazza Stadium or San Siro. Okay, fun fact. Last season, both guys played 5 times. And how many do you think AC Milan won? Just 1. In fact, that game has to be the only game they've scored in against Inter Milan in 7. 7 games they scored only once, and that was a 3-2 win. The remaining 6 games, Inter Milan won all those matches, and this time around, both of them joined top of the Italian Serie A table. Good start of the season to them for AC Milan. Olivier Giroud is doing so well. Well, we don't know if he's going to play this game due to fitness and everything, but if he gets to play, former Chelsea man has been doing so well. Well, on the other side as well, there's a Christian Pulisic who's been brilliant, another former Chelsea player. And on the left, one of the exciting wingers we have right now, Rafael Leao, coming backwards a bit. Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been a brilliant move from AC Milan. Another Chelsea player, Krunic, as well, doing so well for them in the middle of the park. This is going to be exciting. Moving on to the other side, the black and blue, we have Inter Milan moving up front with Lisandro Lautaro Martinez, and of course, Marcos Thuram, who seems to have settled into life in Milan. And in the midfield, we're talking about Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, and of course, one of my favorite midfielders, Nicolo Barella. And a wing back, the Marco and Dumfries always flying forward. This game will be fun. This game will be interesting. This game will be exciting. It could be another draw. Maybe the home team will just edge it. I think AC Milan will break their jigs of not scoring well against Inter Milan this time. They will get to score, especially if Olivier Giroud plays. But if he doesn't, there's a certain Noah Okafor who can probably slot into that position very, very well. Moving on to the Spanish La Liga, there's a game at the Mestalla where Valencia will host Atletico Madrid. Well, with the recent run of form for both teams, you could probably beat your chest to be a straight win for Atletico Madrid. Barcelona at Camp Nou will take on Real Betis. So we had a fairly good start in 4 games, 2 wins and 1 draw against Barcelona, who have won their last 3 games in La Liga after drawing the opening match. Yes, you can say they are still struggling a bit, but they still struggle to get the necessary wins. 4-3, 2-1, 2-0, maybe not the best explosive tiki-taka-ish Barcelona, but they are doing enough to win their games, which is the most important thing about football. And this time against Betis, remember last season they beat them home and away. I think that run of win should still continue. And the final game in the La Liga, final big game, has to be at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, where Real Madrid will take on Real Sociedad. Another exciting. I remember how this guy used to be a threat, thorn in the flesh for both Real Madrid and Barcelona. This time around, last season, they had the semblance of that, as the Blancos could not score a single goal against Sociedad home and away last season. I think they will end it this time. They have lots of injury worry, Vinicius Junior, Adragula, Thibaut Courtois, Eder Militao, but with the quality they still have, you still expect them to score. Jude Bellingham has scored in his first 4 games. Now he will want to make it 5. 5 games in a row. Yes, he has 5 goals in 4 games. In fact, he's the highest scorer in La Liga. But the question for Ancelotti will be: would I continue this 4-4-2 with Bellingham as the pivot of the four in the midfield, having Oselu and Rodrigo Guez up front? Or will you go back to a 4-3-3, having Rodrigo on the left and Valverde on the right, and Roselu up front? Too many questions to be answered. In fact, he'll be thinking, should I go for the old guns of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, or still keep my faith in the young guys, including Kamavinga and, of course, Tchouameni? And remember, last game they played, Brahim Diaz showed them what they've been missing, as it was also instrumental in the equalizer. Quality all round for Real Madrid. I think they'll do enough to beat Sociedad come this weekend and end their jinx of scoring against them in back-to-back games. Let's move on to the English Premier League, the most, well, you can call it the most watched league and the most dramatic league, at least in Europe. Not as dramatic as what we have in the PFL here in Nigeria. Well, before now, people will talk much about Man United against Brighton. But what Brighton did last season, and what they've been doing so far, is the fact that the best scoring team so far in the English Premier League. They scored more goals than Tottenham Hotspur. They scored more goals than Manchester City. Whoa! Yeah, I'm talking about Brighton. Against a United side who are in all sorts of problems. We don't know who is going to play as the right winger. No Sancho, no Anthony for them. And of course, we all know Greenwood is not in the squad anymore. In defense, we don't know if Martinez is injured or going to play. We don't know if Varane is going. But we will likely have Lindelof on one side. Yeah, the question is, will Johnny Evans spare him, or the most criticized man, Harry Maguire? And for Brighton and Hove Albion, we don't know if Egusi, who scored their trick in the last game, is going to be fit enough to play this game. Even without him, there's a certain Danny Welbeck, who is a former Man United player, that will play up front. On the right, they're looking at Solemash. On the other hand, talking about the man who studied dribbling, talking about Mitoma. I worry for United because it feels like even their midfield now is like an express road. Everybody just walk past them without stress. Bruno Fernandes, we do not know if he's going to play in the midfield in this game, or he will deploy to the right to fill in the space that is missing there with Anthony, Sancho and everything. United are in all sorts of mess. Many people have said United will lose this game. Well, Arsenal will be going to the Goodison Park to take on Everton. Well, fun fact in this game, Arsenal's last 5 visits to Goodison Park in the Premier League, guess how many they've won? 0. In fact, their highest point they picked in the last 5 games at Goodison Park is 1. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games away to Everton. Yes, because Everton have had a terrible start this season, 1 point in 4 games. Arsenal are flying high, but sometimes these things have a way of repeating itself. But you should still expect Arteta's made. But the question, will Arteta still continue with his weird positioning of players? Will he still keep faith in Kai Havertz, or give the likes of Vieira a run for the money, or give the likes of Trossard even more minutes? I'm shocked Trossard don't get to start for Arsenal. Or will he even play Eddie Nketiah up front, or bring back Gabriel Jesus to start this game? These are the questions Arteta will be thinking of. I still believe the Gunners should do enough to win. So let me run through my predictions for this weekend. For the German Bundesliga game between Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich, I think it's going to end in a draw. Or maybe Bayern Munich could just edge it a little. To the Italian Serie A, Juventus should do enough to beat Lazio. Derby della Madonnina, I think it's going to be another draw, or maybe edgy win for Inter Milan. To the Spanish La Liga, I think Real Madrid will beat Sociedad. I believe Barcelona should do enough to beat Real Betis at Camp Nou. And of course, Atletico Madrid away to Mestalla, maybe a draw or a straight win for the capital club. To the English Premier League, Arsenal, I think they'll bring their 6-year jigs away to Everton this time around by picking up all 3 points at Goodison Park. And Manchester United against Brighton. Woo! Many, in fact, most fans have said Brighton would win this game. I think I'll tilt a bit towards them. So for United against Brighton, I think I'll give it a draw or a narrow win for Brighton and Hove Albion. So that's our show for today. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscription is absolutely free. So come over another time. Have a beautiful sporting weekend. Goodbye.